Yes guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Junaid. I'm a third year medical student studying at Newcastle University. So now that I'm in third year, I've moved out and I'm based in Middlesbrough. So this is where I am right now and this is what my new setup's going to be. So expect a little room tour video soon and I'll show you guys around properly. So today I wanted to start a new series where I go over the whole medical application process and just make some videos providing some tips and advice for you guys that are applying this year, and hopefully you guys find that helpful. And if you do, then you know the drill. Drop a cheeky like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. So for today's video, I thought I'd make a little video for you guys that are unsure on which medical schools to apply to, because it can be a bit of a daunting process. So hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a little bit of a clue on how to go about deciding which schools to apply to. So as always, there will be timestamps in the description below, so if you don't want to watch the whole video, then feel free to skip to any part you think you might find useful. But aside from that, let's just get straight into the video. So a quick overview of the whole medical application process. The application deadline is the 15th of October every year, and there's around 33 medical schools in the UK that you can apply to, and from those you have to pick 4. So it can be a bit tricky deciding which one to apply to, because each one of those is going to be really different in the way they teach and the way they function as a uni, so it can be quite hard to decide. So for you guys that like statistics, I've got a few numbers here. So for the year 2019, there were 22,340 applicants, and that's for 6,701 places. That pretty much means that out of 10 people that apply, only 3 will get in. Obviously each uni is going to have different ratios for applicants to places, but that's sort of like a whole overall kind of figure. As you know, the competition is really high, and that's why it's really important that you pick your medical schools wisely. So each med school will weigh your application differently depending on which things they look at more highly than others. So for example, Manchester Uni, they want about, I think it's 7 A's or A stars at GCSE, whereas Newcastle Uni don't really focus on GCSEs. So that's just a little example of how different med schools will look at each aspect of the application in different ways. So I'd say find out what your strengths are, whether that be your GCSE grades, A-level grades, your personal statement, predicted A-level grades, your UCAT score, or maybe even all of them because you're super smart. I'd say really focus on your strengths and apply to medical schools based off your strengths. And if you're unsure on how each medical school weighs the application, you could have a look on their website, or you could even just give the admissions team a call, and I'm sure they'll help you navigate that whole thing. And also another thing is, do not apply to a medical school if you don't meet their minimum entry requirement, because what they will do is they'll look at your application, they'll scrunch it up and they'll chuck it in the bin. That didn't go in the bin, but you know what I mean. They'll throw it in the bin, and you do not want that. So whatever you do, make sure you make your choices count, because the last thing you want to do is waste your options, because you've only got 4 of them. So you have to really sort of be selective and be careful with which university you apply to. So the next kind of tip I have for you guys is use the 3-to-1 rule. And what that means is apply to 3 like safe-ish universities. So those could be unis that you feel like you have a good chance of getting into based off your strengths. And the last option, I'd say apply to one dream university, and that could be Oxford or Cambridge or any other university that you're really passionate about. So I remember when I was applying, I applied to Newcastle, Southampton, Exeter and Plymouth, and I felt as though Southampton, Exeter and Plymouth were my safe options, and then Newcastle was my more riskier sort of dream sort of uni option. And alhamdulillah, I got into Newcastle. I'd say that 3-to-1 rule did really help me, because I was able to secure 3 interviews and also 3 offers. So definitely consider that when you're applying, because it might help you guys narrow down your choices, and it just sort of makes the whole application process a bit easier. So the next thing I want to touch on is widening access schemes, and these are absolutely amazing, and a lot more universities have started developing their own access schemes. So for those of you who don't know what they are, they're basically schemes that allow students from underrepresented groups to have a real shot of getting into medicine, dentistry, and any other degree. These groups can be people from low-income families, ethnic minorities, students who are carers, and it really sort of takes into account all the socio-economic factors that can affect a student and their achievement at school and sixth form, and etc. And basically what it ensures is that the medical student demographic is diverse, because the reality is a lot of medical students do come from privileged backgrounds, and there are far fewer students from public schools than there are private schools. So if you are eligible for any widening access programs, definitely have a look at them, because they can really sort of give you an edge in the application process, whether that be reduced UCAT cutoffs, reduced entry requirements, and in some cases even reduced interview score cutoffs. So really have a deep dive into that, and if you are eligible, I'd say it's pretty much a no-brainer, and that you really should apply through that, because it will really sort of ease the pressure of getting into medicine and just make your life so much easier. So I applied through Newcastle's widening access scheme, which is called Partners, and my UCAT cutoff was lower than the normal threshold, and I also received a lower entry requirement, which was ABB. So that really sort of gave me a bit of reassurance that if I do slip up in my grades, I do have that little safety net. So like I said, definitely check if you are eligible, and if you are, then go for it. And another thing you can do to sort of give you a bit of an edge is look at freedom of information requests. And pretty much most medical schools have to answer these, so it can really sort of give you some nifty statistics and information that you wouldn't otherwise find on the medical school website. So definitely check those out if you're really eager, and that can really sort of help you decide which university to apply to. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. So I hope to make a lot more videos about the application process. So if you like the idea of that, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. And if you liked this video, drop a cheeky like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.